Hi there, this is Adeep from T Technology. In this lesson, we are going to talk about testing methods. As a tester, we need to know the methods, how to test the software under test. So let me begin. The testing method slide is right here. So let me describe first what is testing method. Testing methods are the methods or strategies they use to verify, to validate software applications. The purpose is this to make sure the function as intended and meet the specific requirement and the user requirement and with high quality. So these methods can be applied on the selection of test cases, test scenarios, a way to conduct the testing, and so on. There are various types of methods. So technically or generally or typically this testing method divided in two main categories. The first one is, as you see, is called the static method. The second one is called dynamic method. So static testing method, as we discussed on the requirement analysis, especially in V model of SDLC. Static testing method is a method where the software is tested without executing the code. Static method, the software is tested without executing the code. What it do, it just verify the artifacts. Artifacts means like test case, requirement, design, and code. So this static method can be done through many ways. The first ways is reviews. Reviews, for example, we have code review, developer, the one who build the code, he reviews his own code to find a defect, to ensure the quality. The second one is peer review. For example, we can do a developer write the code, then his teammate check the code. It's peer review. Or design review, which is done by a formal review by the system architectures or to meet the requirements. Or we can say walkthrough, for example, a detailed step-to-step definitions or explanations by a developer and tester for the other stakeholders. It's called walkthrough. The another types of static method of testing is inspection. The same way, we have many ways to do inspect it. For example, we have formal inspection. That it's a process where artifacts like test requirement, test design, code, they are inspected by team to find the defects. It involves like the author, the one who write the code, like inspector, the one who check for the code, and all to review process to make sure that these code built it properly. Another types of static testing method is static analysis. Static analysis, nowadays out in the market, there are a lot of tools that they use for the automatic static analysis that they find out the code issues. So this analysis could be manually, could be through tools, but the main focus of this static analysis is to find potential issues like bugs, like vulnerabilities, like deviation from coding standards without execution program, or many other using tools like that they can find the analysis. So nowadays, since we talk about technology is developing every day, so they're building some tools in the market that they can analyze the code automatically and give faster feedback for the author and the team. Another way of static testing method is model-based testing. What it does in here, they create a model from the system behavior. then using this model to generate test cases. After that test cases, then they write the codes according to that behavior. This is called modeling. They model the behavior of the applications, then develop code and test cases. So this model-based testing is very important. So they use a lot in testing and the software development lifecycle. So one of the main purpose of a static testing method is this: to identify the bug or defect early in the software development lifecycle. We can review requirement, test case, scenarios, code in order to identify any bugs. So static method testing method is using a lot is initially in agile model of SDLC. If you go to the next one, which is dynamic testing method, dynamic testing method is a method where it involving executing of the code to check the software behavior and validate its functionality against the requirement. So this executing of the code can be in different ways. The first one is functional testing. Functional testing is nothing to check the functionality of a system based on the requirement and the specifications and the user needs. This method focuses how the system works internally, but whether the system works as expected or not. This is functional testing. So in functional testing, many testing levels can be done. For example, unit testing, a testing which is focused only individual code of a system. This unit testing is mainly done by a developer to check his code in his development environment, in coding environment. So this unit testing just makes sure that developer is this piece of code works correctly or not. Another one is integration testing, or called component integration component testing. This integration testing is the interaction between integrated modules or components to ensure that two components work together as expected. So this integration can be done in different ways. For example, top-down integration testing, bottom-up integration testing, big bang integration testing. So there are other ways that we can do the integration testing in different levels. When I say top-down integration testing, that means it focuses about top-level modules down to the lower level. When we say bottom-up, it focuses from the lower-level modules up to the top-level modules. When we say big bang integration testing, it means it is integrate all components at once and testing them together. Then we come to the system testing. System testing is testing the entire system as a whole to ensure that it meets the specific requirements, as work as expected, and is integrated the environment as well. The system testing tests the system as a whole. And the next one is smoke testing or sanity testing. Smoke testing and sanity testing usually is testing, executing with a simple feature of code, or after the build. When the code is built, the feature is built, and sanity testing is starting executing. This sanity or smoke testing can be done by a developer or can be done by the QA engineer who knows the automation tools. They get the small features or the most risk area features of the system, and they run on a daily basis to check the functionality work as expected. Again, the smoke testing is not like for exhaustive testing that it should cover each part of the scenario of testing. It just covers the high level functionality of a system that works as a daily basis, not in deep diving of the testing. Then we have UAT, user acceptance testing, where your acceptance testing can be done to verify the system meets business requirements and acceptable to the customer, to the end user or not. So there are two types of UAT testing. Remember, we have alpha testing, we have beta testing. When we say alpha testing, it performs by internal users to developers before releasing the product to external users. In the development environment, the developers with some other end users, internal users, they demo, they use the software or system. It's called alpha testing, or sometimes people call in-house testing. Beta testing is a testing where it is conducted by external users, especially by client or customers, to verify the real world functionality and gather feedbacks that is working as expected, it does meet the requirement or not. This all comes to the functional testing, these functional testing levels. We also call them testing level, from unit testing to the UAT testing, and so on. Come to a non-functional testing. Is a non-functional testing is a testing method where it focuses about the performance of this application or software. How does it perform, usability, security, scalability, and so on. All of those cover under non-functional testing. For example, load testing or performance testing, scalability testing. For example, in a load testing, they measure the system's ability to handle a specific loads, number of users or transactions in a specific time. Performance testing, this check how the system behaves in different conditions. And scalability testing assess how the software scales with increasing loads such as users or large data and so on. And there is another types of testing which is called maintenance testing or regression testing. This maintenance testing and regression testing is done before every release. For example, a releases happen, before every release, there is a regression testing to check whether those existing functionality impacted by adding new functionality or new features or not. Whether those existing functionality is changed due to new features or bug or defect. So check the most common risky functionalities of the existing system or software. So this is regression testing. Regression testing is as a part of maintenance testing. The focus is important to see how the system behave if there is any change in the system, is impacted on the system or not. So this all about testing method. So it depends on the testers when to use, how to use properly, and especially by understanding of them and have a concept of them while testing the applications. So that was about testing methods. If you got any question, feel free, comment in the below. I will reach you out. Happy to help. Thank you.